Welcome in, it's Spence and Serge, Miami, Florida, home of the national championship. Indiana and Miami. We haven't spoken about Miami yet. Carson Beck with a legacy drive against Ole Miss. Really fun game out there in the desert. Does Miami have a shot?
They do have a shot.
In this game.
They have a shot because of that defense. That defense is unreal. Also, they have really, really good skill position players on offense. That offensive line is really, really good. And Beck has been in this situation before. You know, he's played a lot of big games in his career. So, you know, they always have a shot.
But guess what? Carson Beck can always turn back into a possum.
He could.
And could throw interceptions like the best of them. He did play well against Texas A&M. But Indiana, this team is just a runaway freight train.
Yeah, I think that they're just on a crash course to destiny.
And I'm going to take Indiana to absolutely roll Miami. Because I see Carson Beck throwing 3 interceptions in this game.
I do too, especially if the rumors are true. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm also taking Indiana.
He's going to have to fake it.
I'm also taking Indiana, but I do think that it's going to be a little bit more of a competitive game. I think that Miami's, again, I never was sold on Oregon, regardless of whether they went up against the juggernaut that is Indiana. I still think that a Pac-12 team is still a Pac-12 team. You can't help the region that you live in, the recruits that you just generally go to your area. NIL helps a lot, but it still isn't going to help the culture that you're building. And Dan Lanning, there's been leaks going around that Dan Lanning might not be so, spotless, shining armor. Like, he might just be a leader of men, might be just a CEO type head coach.
I just think Dan Lanning's cut his teeth with Nick Saban, Tosh LaPoy. He was out there at Sam Houston. He was under Kirby Smart. I think he knows scheme.
Listen,
heavily.
I'm not debating.
I think he could get on a chalkboard with Kenny Dillingham and could out-scheme anybody. That's why he hired internally with Tosh LaPoy and Chris Hampton.
Yeah, I'm not debating anything about his X's and O's or his knowledge of football.
You just were, weren't you?
No, I was saying that there's been rumors around it. And again, it's one thing to know X's and O's. Like, let's say I was one of these type of people. Let's say I was able to draw on a chalkboard. There are some people that just can't translate it into drills, can't translate it into how you're going to be able to, apply this.
Like McDaniel.
Right.
Like Mike McDaniel in Miami.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's more like a leadership thing, and that we can get onto that. But
you're saying not apply it.
Yeah, but that's also from how easy do you make it for your players to digest this information and apply it.
You think Dan is overcomplicating it? I want to know what the haters are saying.
So the haters are basically just saying that the offensive and defensive coordinators are pretty much taking up majority of the load there. His staff is well run and everything like that. I mean, granted, he had a good teacher in how to run a program with the Sabans of the world, the Kirby Smarts of the world, all the different places that he's been has brought him to where he is. So he needed those experiences. But at the end of the day, it's one thing to when you're on college game day with your shirt off, to jumping in a pool with a recruit, to being in that locker room in those trenches and helping that guy that's got maybe a paper due at midnight and also has to decide how he's going to run the Zeus position when they run Predator or whatever they're going to be running. It's a lot different when you got to and again, these are kids.
So X's and O's wise, Dan.
I'm not saying that he's not a good or bad X's and O's guy, but
the haters think he's not an elite X's and O's guy.
Maybe not anymore. Maybe because, again, when you get so far removed and you have all these other things to do.
I know. And I like that. Recruits. And I'm not a good X's and O's guy, but I'd be a motivator like Mac Brown.
Texas. He's a great motivator.
And I'd be like Ryan Day.
Yeah,
Ryan Day might know X's and O's too, but you can be a really good coach like Tressel. Maybe, Coach O didn't have staying power. But I still think Dan knows football, and I don't even know if that's really a critique. He has a family of 3 boys, and it's just it's hard to be in the lab. But
it's very hard.
Maybe Dan will get motivated again.
Maybe.
I think he can learn it.
Maybe. I think that for the sake of his public image, I think that he just needs to stop making all these comments and chirps on all the different shows that he's on about the other team. Like when he made that chirp about
taking your shirt off or what? Or
just in general, when he said we're about substance, not clicks, and then you get blown out to Ohio State, and then you get blown out to Indiana. Eventually, all that gimmicky wording stuff becomes what it really is.
But it's perfect. Words. But it's Ben Johnson. And you might hate it.
Well,
but I want there to be villains.
When Ben Johnson does it, though, he does it at the end of the game when the result is done. He doesn't do it before the game.
I don't think Dan poked Indiana.
I don't think that he poked Indiana specifically per se, but I think that he poked just like there's something about like when you play a game and the common respect that you have for the game itself and just whoever's on the other side of it.
I think Dan has that. Now,
I don't think that he has that. I think that he's been multiple different times condescending and just like downplaying to like his opponent, especially what he did with Colorado. Like Colorado's not in your league, and you're over here treating them
but
like
they were a top 20 team.
Top 20 team. There's a lot of teams that were top whatever.
And they raked Colorado.
I know they did, but did you really think that anything
Oregon, they've been great. They've won the Big 12 championship.
One time.
He's gone 24-1 in 2 years in the regular season.
He won the Big 12.
He won the Big 10 championship.
He won the Big 10 one time.
At the Pac-12 first year.
One time.
Undefeated, first round seed, lost the national champs.
How long has he been there for? They got 2 conference championships.
They have 1 conference championship in 4 years, and he's 38 years old.
1 playoff win.
2. They beat James Madison and Texas Tech.
Oh my God. I forgot about the opening round games.
Well, he's going to win. I mean, he's only 39. So I'm all in on Dan Lanning.
Hey, I know you are because you love him, and I agree with you. And I'm not saying.
And I love the crap talking that Dan's doing, and yeah, like against Colorado, like that was all like really funny. But that was a couple years ago.
I just think that like
he made fun of the SEC.
There's so many flaws in like the.
Dan's a freaking tiger, and he came from nothing. You know, he had to drive 10 hours for his first job.
Listen, like I said, I'm not discrediting what he's built to.
But do you think that he's kind of a fraud so far? He does have to win some of these games.
He does have to win.
I'm not disagreeing with you. He's getting a lot of hate right now.
He's getting a lot of hate right now, so maybe this is just me piling onto it. But I really am not a hater of Dan Lanning. I love that he's a leader of men. I think that he has in him all that's needed to build a good program. I just think that he's worried about the wrong things in certain snapshot moments.
Put it this way, if I'll shake your hand on this, if he turns into James Franklin and never gets to a title or never wins one, I'll admit it's a failure.
But that's hindsight, and
so
that's
Franklin really
that wouldn't
failed.
Be fair.
No, but I'm talking about forward. I believe Dan's best days are ahead.
I don't think so. I think that this was your shot to win it. No Ohio State, none of this. Nobody knew Indiana was going to be this big of a juggernaut. Like you might have seen it all season, but they didn't exactly play to that juggernaut.
But you got DeCorian coming back. Like I think within the next 2 or 3 years they're going to be right.
But now, see, I'm going to push back on that because there are some quarterbacks. Like maybe DeCorian is one of them. Maybe Arch Manning is too. We'll find out. There are some quarterbacks where when they're coming back, you're going to feel better about a program. But then there's also something to the recruiter in Dan Lanning, the ability to track talent. The biggest issue with Oregon from the time he got there to now is, can you get the SEC-type body players? Can you get the guys that aren't worried about the flashy NIL deals, the guys that are just there to win games like the Georgias of the world where they'll stay? I think the statistic is like the past couple national champions have had like a huge senior class. Georgia, when they went perfect, had 15 seniors. Indiana this year has, 19, 20 seniors, something like that. Those guys that stay for the long haul, for the culture. Like Dan Lanning's getting a lot of guys, like even Texas just poached one of their offensive tackles that left. There's been a bunch of different people that are just leaving the program after a good success.
But I think that they stay.
I hope so.
I'll mention the NFL guys. We got Bo in the NFL, Bucky Irving.
But Bo was a one-year Oregon guy. Bo was a guy, son of a coach.
Jeffrey Bossa.
Played in the SEC, went over there to have a good year, didn't get it done.
Jeffrey Bossa, Dylan Gabriel.
None of them won anything.
Everyone loves the culture.
None of them won anything.
Well,
Dylan Gabriel, oh my God, Dylan Gabriel.
What?
What's he been doing in the NFL?
In the NFL?
He lost his job to Shador.
He's a good third-round quarterback.
He lost his job to a fifth-round quarterback.
He's a decent, for his size,
he's small.
He's gotten the most out of his ability.
Metrically, he never measured.
Let me tell you who else is in the NFL. You have Birch, who's a stud in the NFL. I'm trying to think of the Harmon is going to be back in the NFL.
Okay, but like all those guys are just role player guys. None of them are superstar players in the NFL.
I'll tell you.
Do you remember even when they had,
Flowers is going to be...
Kayvon Thibodeau, was it?
Yeah, but he was Mario.
All right, but either way, I'm saying like all these Oregon players are like almost a similar style.
But Bucky's really good.
Bucky is really good, I will say that.
Terrence Ferguson could be really good. Second-round pick.
Could be. Unfortunately.
I think that he really keeps a lot of his talent. I don't think they're all leaving. They're leaving now because of Will Stop.
No, I'm not.
They're leaving now because
I'm not saying that they leave or don't.
They don't leave.
Saying,
it's a good culture. It's a very.
I'm just saying that I don't know.
It's very connected. It's the most connected team in the country.
Oh, there's a team up in Indiana that's way more connected than them.
They've lost to the national champs a couple of years.
All right, I'm not saying.
Where's Texas in the playoffs?
Listen,
you beat Arizona State.
Now you're getting personal. Listen, we have 2 playoff wins too. Are you now going to say Sark is a better coach than him?
Clemson and Arizona State. I think you're very on a similar.
We made a semifinal as Oregon,
and yes,
that's it. Just one time.
You did play Ohio State decent. I'll give you that.
We were on the doorstep to tie in that game.
Yeah, so maybe tying. You have to get the 2-point conversion.
I thought that was more of like a Hollywood script. His college roommate at Ohio State script.
Captain Jack. Yeah. Anyway, so you think So we both think Indiana's doing this. I think it's the greatest story. By the way, this Spygate allegations, it'll maybe never see the light of day.
I hope so, because you'd hate for something like this to be 100% true.
To tarnish anything. Yeah. I think what the Astros did is probably the biggest cheating in sports.
Yeah, that was.
Do you agree? Do you agree with that?
Uh-huh. And the fact that they protected them, that's a whole.
The cloud and the fact that now Mark Cuban in Indiana, they're pouring in a ton of money. We're going to talk about Portal here to end the show.
Speaking of Mark Cuban's having a hard time getting tickets for this game because it's in Miami, and tickets are outrageous.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, Miami doesn't like Cuban?
No, it's not even about Miami. It's just that he tweeted out there, and Connor Stallions, funny that he got himself involved into this, but he tweeted out there, will the prices ever go down? Will there ever be more tickets available to the public?
Cuban complained?
He complained because even at his superstar status, there just wasn't enough tickets to go around.
He's probably getting dragged on. Do you think he's getting dragged? Because usually Cubans like Mark Cuban.
He's not
because he's a billionaire.
He's actually being supported in this because it's just so ridiculous the way ticket prices are.
Indiana. I'm amazed Indiana literally and as a guy who roots for Oregon, I'm a little sad. Indiana embarrassed Oregon in terms of that Peach Bowl. In terms of, it was all Indiana. I think there's going to be a ton of Indiana fans. Actually, it might be 50-50.
Might be a lot new Indiana fans born. You know what I mean?
That's what's so crazy about SIG. And I think it would be one of the greatest stories in all. Do you think
I think it already is. Story? I think it is the greatest story.
Right now, I don't care about the cheating. Whether they have blinders on.
Yeah, whether they win or lose. The fact that the quickest turnaround ever. You only lost 2 games last year to losing no games this year.
That's why I want to see them win.
It's the best story in
football. Because Indiana's the worst program in all of football, and everyone else has had access to the portal too. So let's talk about the teams that are weak, like UConn, or this is like Baylor Bears. Let me think of in the Big Ten. It's like Purdue.
Yeah.
Right now.
It'd be like Purdue. If Purdue would
KU football.
Yeah, can you?
Kansas.
That's a big question.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Winning the national. You think Kansas will win a national?
Never.
But
that's a basketball sport.
But Kentucky now, that's what's so weird about these sports. Nebraska's really good in basketball now. Mm-hmm. So that's going to do it for Spence and Serge. We're going to talk. We have all freaking winter to talk about the portal. Because don't worry, we will talk portal. But we both have Indiana winning the national championship. Thank you guys for listening. Spence
and Serge, be careful out there, everybody. Enjoy your national championship Monday. I know it's Martin Luther King Day. Shout out to everybody celebrating, and I hope that everybody has a good and wonderful day of football.